Hi all, Wes here. I'm going to attempt to shell sort this list of 7 numbers into ascending order. Right, first thing we do with a shell sort algorithm is determine the number of sublists and then shuttle sort those in turn before merging the list back together. So how many sublists do we need? Well, it's going to be the integer part of 7 divided by 2, which is equal to the integer part of 3.5, which is simply 3. Okay, so the sublists are going to be formed as so. 4 is going to go in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 7 in the first, 5 in the second, 6 in the third, and then 2 is going to go in the first. And that's always the procedure we take. There were 9 numbers to sort, 15, 21, whatever. We divide by 2 and we form our sublist like so. Then we shuttle sort each of these sublists in turn. So my working, I'm going to go straight and write my working down. That the examiner's more often than not interested in seeing this. So that's going to go 2, 4, 7, i.e. this sublist in ascending order. That's going to remain at 3, 5, and this is going to be 1, 6. And then the next line of working, which the examiner will be looking to see, is us merging these back together. So we end up with 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, I am going to actually count the number of comparisons and swaps. This is not typical for a shell sort algorithm. They might ask you, but about as tricky as it gets usually is give the number of comparisons after the first pass. You wouldn't have a total, but you know we're going to work through this carefully and we'll come up with that. So when we sorted 4, I'm going to go over to this piece of paper here. When we sorted 4, 7, and 2 using the Let me put a little table together. Pass. So I'm now using the shuttle sort within the shell sort. So pass, comparisons, and swaps. I'm going to count these. I'll tell you what. I count them in terms of tally. So after the first pass, we compare 4 and 7. So a little tally mark there. But we make no swaps, so I'll leave that blank. Then on the second pass, we introduce 2. And we end up with 2, 4, and 7. We compare 2 with 7 and 4, so that's 2 comparisons, and then we swap 2 with 4 and 7, so actually 2 swaps. So just to recap, just shuttle sorting these 3 numbers has resulted in, I'm going down to the bottom of the page here, so after the first pass we have made, I'm doing a tally, we've made, let's go back over here. We've made 3 comparisons and 2 swaps so far. 1, 2, 3 comparisons and 2 swaps. But we haven't finished. There's a lot to keep track of, isn't it? We look at 3 and 5. We make 1 comparison, but no swaps. They remain the same. Then we compare 1 and 6. So it's another comparison. And do we swap them? No, we don't. So after, let me draw this in. After the first pass, we have made 5 comparisons and 2 swaps. Okay, now we move on to pass number 2. How many sublists do we need this time? Well, we're interested in this number. There were 3 before. We now want the integer part of 3. We divide this number by 2, which is the integer part of 1.5, which is simply 1. So our next line of working should look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How about that? Second pass, nice and straightforward. And in the exam, I doubt they'd ask you to count the number of comparisons and swaps here, but I'm going to do it. It's a little bit of a reminder of how to do the shuttle sort on a lengthier list of numbers. So I'm going to go back over to my piece of paper over here. So we've got 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm going to need another table. So this is the pass, this is the number of comparisons, this is the number of swaps. We start off, so so this is our first, so we end up with 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So after the first pass, after pass 1, we make 1 comparison and no swaps. We now bring 1 in, so on our second pass, we're going to end up with, it's going to look like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We've compared 1 with 3 and 2, so on our second pass, we've made 2 comparisons, and we've swapped 1 with 3, and with 2. So we made 2 swaps. On our third pass, we bring 4 in, and actually we're going to write the list as this here. We've made 1 comparison and no swaps. We compared 4 with 3. That's 1 comparison, but we didn't swap it. Then we bring 5 in, and we write this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6, 7s out there at the end. So on pass 4, 1 comparison again, 0 swaps. We compared 5 with 4, but didn't do any swapping. Then we bring 6 in. So on our 5th pass, we end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we make 1 comparison, 6 with 5, but we didn't do any swapping. And then on our 6th, the list is going to look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, I should be underlining that to indicate I put 7 in. On our 6th pass, again, 1 comparison, no swap. 7 was compared with 6, no swapping took place. So let's get a total. The total number of comparisons was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the total number of swaps was 2. So going back down here, actually, I'm just going to write them in, 7 and 2. So just to recap, we did a shuttle sort within the shell sort. That's what we do, and with the total number of comparisons is going to be 7 plus 5, which is 12, and the total number of swaps is going to be 13. It's total, and that is a wrap, basically, folks. So I'll just zoom out, and you can take a look at. Hopefully, you can see the whole page there.